Friends and neighbors, we are at the beginning of a 3-month journey that will lead us from our current home in Littleton, Colorado, all the way across the country to Millerville and Prattville, Alabama, and finally on down to Florida, where we will find a permanent home. Whew! The adventure has been big. We've been playing with family in Anaheim, California for a family reunion, but all that has come to an end. Now the travel begins. We're still in Anaheim, California, folks. The family reunion may be over, but the adventure for us is not. We still have to get home, which means hopping on a plane. One would think that that's a pretty easy thing, considering how often we do it. But, as it turns out, it's not quite so easy this time as one would think. We've checked out of our hotel that we've been staying in, but our flight isn't till much later in the afternoon. So, we're taking a tiny little adventure around the corner to Disney's Grand Californian Hotel, where we will wait, and wait, and wait for time to head to our flight.
Day at California Adventure, Grand Californian. I guess we're kind of at California Adventure. It's right there.
It's right there. Oh, it's Grammy.
And Grammy's calling. Kason, where's Daddy?
Daddy.
Katie's mom, Cece, left much earlier that day. So we stayed, and we ate, and we watched cartoons, and we napped until it was time to go meet our driver.
That's not him. We're just waiting for our guy that's driving us to come get us. What company is this through?
Super Shuttle.
Super Shuttle. But apparently it shows a live update on where the car is.
It's outside waiting.
He's probably just on the other side of the wall here. So the bad news so far is that we think there's going to be a storm sitting right over Denver when we get home. Cece said it was already a little bumpy when she got off the plane earlier. The storm's supposed to be sitting right over Denver when we get there.
419 starts to Denver. Your new gate will be at gate 16. Once again, if you're on
Gate 16, okay, we already knew that. So yeah, it could be a very bumpy ride getting back down to the ground. So that weather that I mentioned earlier, we are now waiting 50 minutes just to get an update on when we might board and take off. And as I think I mentioned to Katie earlier, if that means we avoid coming into Denver through a thunderstorm, then I am perfectly okay with that. The longer we have to wait for the less turbulence, good with me. Although some other folks who might be on a timely schedule might not be as happy with it, but such is life. It's 7:13.
It is close.
We pulled back away from the terminal,
We're watching car trips.
got ready to taxi out to the runway, and he just informed us that there was an issue with the left engine, I think.
Okay. Wait just a minute.
They're gonna have to have
Watch
maintenance come out and look at it.
Okay.
So we're pulling back up to the terminal. Oh my gosh.
Alright folks, good news because we are behind. They gave us the first available gate, that's number 34. And it is open right now. We're going to taxi our way there. Please do me see if this goes fast. We're going to get the gate here in just a couple.
But Kason did very good. He was a trooper. Mommy and Daddy are done though.
I know, like, we were gonna be like...
Kason's done too, really. What time is it?
10:58.
10:58 local. It's way past Kason's bedtime. How he's still going, I don't know. But he's a trooper. Especially this trip. After all of that, and we had to go back in to get the engine checked. And we sat and waited, and then we had to wait for them to give us a piece of paper saying it was okay for us to leave with the amount of fuel we had. And then we get down after Kason cried going up. He was a trooper coming back down. And then finally we get down on the ground, we're waiting to go park, and they tell us, oh, because of the storms and everything here earlier, there's 5 planes in line ahead of us waiting to park. Anyway, they decided since we had been delayed already that they would give us the first available slot, so we didn't have to wait for 5 of the other planes to park and unload. Anyway, we gotta get going. Come on, Peanut.
Folks, we have a long couple of weeks of packing to get ready for our big move. So we decided to start it off with a little R&R to, you know, recover from the R&R we just had at Disneyland.
Since we're here for a corporate event, we're getting ushered in through the creepy dark alley by the water ride.
The dark alley.
Oh, well, it would be dark if the sun wasn't up. And we're here.
Elitch Gardens Theme and Family Water Park, locally known as Elitch's, is an amusement park in Denver unique for being located in a downtown area. It originally opened in 1890 before shutting down in 1994 because of dwindling space. It reopened in 1995 at its current location in downtown. I do enjoy a water park every now and again, but for the most part, I'm not really a water park kind of person. Although I did have a lot of fun playing with Kason in the lazy river and in the little splash area for children.
Are we not listening?
Not real well.
This is apparently the original Ferris wheel from when this park was first built or something.
Over the next few weeks, there was a lot of packing and a lot of preparing for our big cross-country adventure. And as much as we delayed it and tried to stretch out the time we had, the day still came, and it was time to get going.
The van is packed, and we are preparing to leave very shortly. It is now 8 o'clock. We had meant to leave at 7, but better to be prepared than rushed. Oh man, I started off today with an empty room and a sleepy baby and some nervous parents. And some sad parents a little further up the food chain. Never easy, especially this time with a baby. But we're getting ready to head out, start a new chapter of our lives. It's gonna be a big adventure. Can you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Mimi's house.
Bye-bye, Mimi house.
The adventure has begun. There are mixed feelings in at least this end of the car. The back end of the car is just enjoying cars.
Thanks for going to Disney.
He thinks we're going to Disney, which we are eventually going to end up at Disney. In another half month. We're heading to Starbucks, maybe? Is that where we're going?
Probably.
To get a little extra sustenance before we jump on the interstate and bid Colorado a fond farewell. And I thought about this morning, Katie. When we came out here, we had a plan.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
No.
When we went to Canada, we had an even better plan.
Yeah.
We came back with no money in our pocket and a baby in her tummy.
Yeah.
We're leaving here with little to no plan. I think we finally learned that we just do as much planning as we need to get by, and God's gonna put us where He needs us to be. That's not to say you just jump in the river and let the rapids take you, but
Have a backup plan.
you have a backup plan. But I think we're getting to the point where we just gotta trust that there is a higher purpose. Whether you believe in God or karma or whatever, something in this universe is looking after you as long as you're willing to look after yourself. So I think it's going to turn out okay. It's probably going to be bumpy, and it's definitely going to be a long next couple of weeks. But I think this is going to be an adventure in the truest sense of the word. Alrighty, we're heading out. Wish us luck. Actually, by the time you're seeing this, you probably already know how it turned out if you're family. So, later.
We had planned out the first part of the trip in 3 legs. First, a sprint from Littleton, Colorado out to Topeka, Kansas. The next day, Topeka to Memphis. And finally, Memphis on down to Alabama, where we would spend 2.5 weeks with my family. But for the moment, we were on the road from Littleton to Topeka.
Made it to Kansas, day 1. Well, we're at rest stop number 2. Kason major peed out of his diaper, so we had to dig through the back of the car for extra clothes for him. But we are making great time today. With the little weather radio here at the rest stop, says we might have some storms coming up here soon. Not really excited about that, but we'll see what happens.
Any long day of driving is never easy, I can tell you that for sure, because I've done it a few times. But it was made a little easier this time by the fact that Katie and I got to share a vehicle and swap places back and forth.
Last rest stop for day 1. It's been a boring and not very scenic drive, but we're almost to Topeka, and that'll be stop 1 for the day. 2 more hours to go. Kansas.
Yeah.
We're going to Topeka, Kansas. Kason, can you say Topeka?
Say Topeka. Good job. Yeah, almost like peacock, huh? Yeah. And then we're gonna go to Nana's house. And what animals are at Nana's house? What says bok bok?
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, yeah, chickens.
Yeah, picture.
And Nana has a cow.
I got a castle.
No, Nana doesn't have a castle.
Cow.
Disney cow?
You want to see a Disney cow?
Castle.
And a castle cow?
By the time we hit Topeka, we were starved, so we headed over to one of our favorite places to eat, Texas Roadhouse. We enjoyed a wonderful meal and then retired to our hotel. There was a lot of sleeping to be done before another long day tomorrow. And the next day would be one of the roughest and longest days that we've ever driven.
Okay.
Let's go.
Uh-huh.
Say, let's go.
Let's go.
Got you a cup of Fruit Loops? Oh, guess what we found? Stopped at BP today because we're on the kind of road that doesn't really have rest stops. And asked Peanut if he wanted to get back in the car and watch Monsters, Inc. or if he wanted to run around a little bit. He said run around. So we're running around.
We're running. Hey, turn around, come back. Come on.
We're just running around between the abandoned, or the medical center and the abandoned building. Good place to run off some steam.
Let's see, where's Zowie? Where? Oh. Come on, where?
Say Memphis,
What fish?
Tennessee.
Locables.
No Incredibles. We've been driving all day. Thankfully today is our last day of a long drive. Tomorrow we're going to go visit our friend Annika at the Memphis Zoo. We're finally in a hotel in Memphis, Tennessee for the night. Hotel is nice, it's decent quality, it's pretty well put together, it's not shabby. Katie's not too sure about the neighborhood. I'm not incredibly sure about the neighborhood myself. But I think we'll be fine. We're pretty much in for the night. Katie went downstairs to move the car into a position she thinks is going to be a little more safe. And she's also going to ask about pizza places, because we're at this point, her and I are done. We're just going to sit and eat, maybe watch movies, and definitely sleep tonight. Kason has found Mickey and the Roadster Racers on, so he is happy. But yeah, the trip is one day closer to getting us to Alabama, and one day closer to us starting the rest of our lives. Getting nerve-wracking, but also exciting at the same time.
So they took a copy of my driver's license, which usually they just use it to verify your name, not copy it. They copied it. She tells me, well, if you decide to go out dancing tonight and it happens to fall out of your pocket or out of your purse, then in the middle of the night they can verify that you are the actual guest staying at the hotel, because heaven forbid a hobo picked up your room key and tried to come into the hotel and get in, and Katie's mind went racing about hobos breaking in the middle of the night, even though we have no plans to go dancing. I don't know what's happening here. Memphis is a weird town.
Memphis is a beautiful town coming over the bridge.
Gorgeous.
But so she said hobo specifically, so that's why you said hobo. See, I thought you used hobo as like a
I did
colloquial
not
way of meaning
know.
like gangbangers
I
and
literally
things.
repeated what she said, hobos.
So there's a lot of homeless in the area, not necessarily gang activity.
Hobos.
Hobos. I don't think hobos would be too interested in breaking into someone's car,
No.
but still better that you took the
Or
precaution.
into their hotel.
Well, hotel is shelter.
Oh, true.
A
I
hobo
guess
doesn't
just,
have anywhere to live, so.
like, sit in the lobby. It was all very strange.
Yeah, well, we're in for the night anyway, so. Memphis, Tennessee! Woo! We're doing dinner family style and watching Iron Man. What you got, Kason? Juice? Juice.
Folks, we've come a long way, but this adventure is still in its infancy. Next time, we wake up in Memphis, head out to meet a friend at the Memphis Zoo, and then boogie on down to Alabama. Join us next time.